update. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that he is in fact just like his father? Original story. My 31 female husband 31 male, and I have 4 children. A son, 9 male, a daughter 8 female, and twins, 5 male. My husband and I were over the moon when we had our first 2 kids, and were just very excited. The twins were a huge surprise considering twins aren't common in either of our families, but we decided to keep them. However, my husband's attitude towards the twins has completely changed. I know it's tiring. We have other little children running around too, but it's not like we're overwhelmed. My mother, who is still very young and fit, lives with us, and she usually takes care of the kids when she can. We aren't short on money either, as both of us come from pretty wealthy families. However, I know that sometimes that isn't even enough when it comes to parenting, so I decided to leave it. However, instead of moping around or just being distant, he's become pretty mean with the twins. He's always finding something to shout at them for. I kid you not, he shouts at them for being identical as if they purposely planned it. Plus, he's the perfect dad with my older children. He only acts weird with the twins. I had enough yesterday when my youngest asked me why dad hates him and whether I want him to disappear too. There is absolutely no way a little kid would lie about something like this. I don't think he has the mental ability to make up things like that either. I was furious and confronted my husband, who was sound asleep in the bedroom. I asked him what his problem was and why he's being a nahal. He was confused, so I explained. He then accused my son of lying and saying nonsense. Obviously, I didn't believe him and told him that he was exactly like his father. He got pissed and left the house. I don't know where he went, and honestly, I don't give a crap. Side note. Husband's father was, in short, a piece of turd. Very absent and cheated on his wife a lot. My husband vowed to never be like him, and gets very heated at the mention of his dad. Anyways, my mother, who heard the whole thing go down, told me that I did the right thing by shouting at him, but I should have not mentioned his father. My sister, who I called later, said the same, and told me to make a post on here just to see. So, am I the a-hole for telling my husband that he is exactly like his turd of a father? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not a a-hole. He sounds like a nahal. People who are mistreated often become one themselves. This isn't acceptable. Not a a-hole, but I actually think you're failing your kids. You can't allow him to keep treating your twins like that. It's a terrible environment for them to be raised in. Your husband needs to get into therapy and change his attitude, or you need to leave him. Poor little boys. He is scapegoating them while treating the elder 2 like golden children. It's classic abuser behavior, and OP needs to step up and stop allowing it to happen. Not a a-hole. I'm sorry. I encourage you to keep being advocates for your twins, and if he is saying things like that around them, maybe limit their one-on-one time with dad. Things like that is so damaging to kids. And they're not too young to understand, as you pointed out. They know they're being treated differently. Whatever you do, don't subject them to someone who isn't kind to them constantly. Good luck. Maybe limit their one-on-one time with dad. Yeah, OP, you are not a a-hole for being upset. But keeping your younger 2 in a home that is obviously emotionally damaging to them because the marriage is good for you, that's not being a good mother. As a parent, it's your job to put your kids first. And you clearly both have the money and support to do this without living with your husband. At a certain point, you have to realize that you can't just sacrifice the twins' well-being for everyone else in the family status quo. Now for the update. So first things first. I would like to thank all of you for your input. I read every single reply and have taken all your words into consideration. Secondly, I would like to clarify a few things. 1. When I said that my husband and I decided to keep the twins, I meant that we had to think long and hard about me giving birth to them. My first 2 pregnancies had a lot of complications, and according to the doctor, twins would be worse. Ultimately, we both decided that we would keep the kids and pray to God that I would be fine. It was tough. I almost passed, but I survived. 2. I had mentioned my husband's behavior before, and he always told me that I was overanalyzing him or overreacting. According to him, I was doing too much. I actually thought I was going crazy and felt like a witch for thinking my husband was mistreating the twins. However, my son's face showed me that I was right the whole time, and I should not have let it go on as much as I did. And I blew up on him. Yes, I said it to hurt him, But I also said it because I hoped that he would realize that he is turning into a jerk of a man, just like his father. Now on to the update. So, a few hours after I made the post, my husband messaged me saying that he was sorry for leaving the house abruptly and shouting, etc. I first asked him where he was, and he said that he was at his brother's house. I told him to get comfortable because there was no way he was coming back home. I then asked him if we could meet later, and he said sure. So the next morning I went over to his brother's house and we talked. And honestly, I'm numb. I'm going to keep this as short as possible, so I'll skip over the irrelevant stuff. So first, I apologized for comparing him to his father, not for shouting at him, but for the comparison, and he said it was fine. He apologized as well. Then I asked him why he was so mean to the twins. It took some time for him to tell me the truth, but he spilled. Like many of you suggested, he said that he felt like they weren't his children. Apparently the kids don't look or act like him and he got bad vibes from them. I rolled my eyes at the bad vibes part, but I assured him that I did not cheat on him, and that just because they don't look like him, they look a lot like me, doesn't mean they aren't his children. He said that he did trust me, but something about the twins was off. I told him that he wasn't making any sense and that he needed to see a therapist, ASAP. He kind of looked defeated before saying that he would. I forced him to make an appointment then and there in front of me. I then told him that he wasn't coming near any of the kids until he sorted out his issues, because the children are going to be heavily affected by him. I mentioned some of the things you guys said about how much words hurt and how kids remember. At this point, I had some hope that he would get better, that there was a slight chance of us becoming a family again. But then I asked him one more question. Did he ever physically hurt our twins? Somebody mentioned this in the replies of my original post and it had been killing me. I needed to know. He said yes, but only a few times when they were being difficult. I was shocked. He hit our children and I was clueless. He said that it wasn't hard and that the twins were throwing things and wouldn't calm down, so he hit them. He didn't mean to and lost control. I didn't want to hear anymore and immediately left before I did something. I went home, and when my mom asked how it went, I cried. I sobbed in her arms. I don't know where I went wrong and why everything was going downhill. You hear these things happen in news or in movies, but you never realize that it could be happening to you or your babies. I then made sure my kids were okay. I asked my twins first if Dad ever hurt them. They said yes, and one of them even said that he was scary. I asked my eldest two if Dad ever hurt them, and they said no. I asked the two if they ever saw Dad hit the twins, and my son didn't know, but my daughter did. She even said that they deserved it. That ruined me even more. I mentioned that my daughter had been starting to treat the twins like her father, but I managed to stop it. Obviously, she isn't mean to their face anymore, but it's obvious she thinks low of them. So, taking advantage of the money I am privileged enough to have, I have decided to put all of them in therapy with the best people I could find. When they asked where their dad was, I told them that he was busy with work and wouldn't be home for a bit. I honestly don't know if that was the right call, but I don't want a man who hits kids in my house or near my children. I'm just numb. I've cried so much that I cannot cry anymore. I can't be angry because I let this happen for so long. I can't be guilty because I need to stay strong for my children. I still don't know what to do. Like I've said a billion times, I'm so numb. It's like all the joy has been sucked out at me. Thankfully, my sister moved in, and both her and my mother have been supporting me a lot. I felt like letting it all out, and talking about it on this post would help me feel better. But I still keep getting flashes of anger, sadness, guilt, etc., and I don't know. I know I'm making this about me, but I don't know how to handle all this information that's been dumped on me in one day. But I'm going to be strong for my children. I'm going to get the best lawyer I can find, and I'm going to do my best to protect my kids. Whether I let my husband into my life or the lives of my kids is still a huge question mark for me, as my eldest two have mentioned that they miss him. Now we'll see how things go, but I don't know if I can ever trust him again. He has messaged me a few times since our conversation saying sorry, and that he really didn't hate our twins, but I don't know. And yeah, once again, thank you random strangers on the internet for the replies and private messages. I don't know if this update was satisfying, and I highly doubt that I'll update again as I'm going to put all my time into helping my kids. But I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you guys. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom I don't feel like I have sisters when she asked why I didn't invite my sisters to my birthday? I, 23 female, have two older half-sisters, 26 female, 27 female. My mom was married to their dad, divorced just after 26 female was born, and met my dad soon after and they had me. My mom shared custody of my sisters and my parents are still together. Growing up, they were always so close with each other. They would hang out, do fun stuff together, and it didn't include me unless my mom insisted on it. And sometimes it wasn't a fight. Just a thing of, oh, you're going to the park? Well, little sister can come. Outside of stuff like that, I was always left out. And when we all did stuff as a family, I felt very much like an only child. I was never included in the jokes. They'd want to sit with each other. They would sometimes not even talk to me, which wasn't always a bad thing, lol. Especially when we were teenagers. As adults, nothing much has changed. I have often asked them if they wanted to do things, and they are either too busy or they forget to show up and just never bother following up when they do. And they have done plenty of stuff without me. My oldest sister got married and had our middle sister in her wedding as her bridesmaid and didn't include me in any of it. I was just a regular guest, which again is fine, but it just sets the relationship. I didn't actually get to talk to either of my sisters the whole wedding. Not sure if it was deliberate, but yeah. A few years ago, they got matching sister tattoos, and the tattoos in question reference having only one sister. For me, that was when I kind of stopped caring, or started working on not caring. I had never known how to feel about it before, but I realized what it was. For years, they treated me not as a sister, but as my parents' child. Their mom's child, but not their sister. And I feel like I have gotten to the point where I'm okay with that, so long as I can treat them the same. So my 23rd birthday, I had some people over for snacks and stuff. Friends and family, but I didn't invite my sisters. I haven't been invited to their birthdays in years either. My mom questioned me on it, and I said I hadn't thought of it. She told me that wasn't possible. She told me she thought we had all moved past that stuff that were sisters. I told her it doesn't feel like I have any. It never did. They have each other and I'm on the outside. Her kid, but not their sister, and that it was fine. And after all these years, I would rather just move on. She told me it was horrible to say it feels like I have no sisters, and I told her that technically we are, but we do not have a close sibling relationship and I have never felt like their sister. My mom is mad at me for what I said to her. She's also mad at them for treating me how they did for so long. She went off on how she had talked to them so many times about this. But she's so pissed at me for saying what I did. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Simply tell her, your mother, to read their sister tattoos. That says it all, and it is recent. Yes, exactly. You just told the truth. This is a situation they, and your mother included to some extent, created. When it started, they were children, and she could have changed their perspective. It's too late now. Not at a-hole. Your half-sisters have shown that they don't acknowledge you as their sister, so you have a right to feel that way. Your mom is an a-hole for making it seem like that's your fault you don't feel that way. They have been a-holes to you, so I'm glad that you have grown to not care about the exclusion they have done to you. I'm sorry your mother tried to make your birthday about them. Of course not. Speaking your truth isn't wrong. And your mom is aware of the issues, and probably feels guilty about not being able to make it different, but she still shouldn't shut you down for saying it. Your sisters seem to have had plenty of chances to make a relationship with you. I imagine it's possible things will change in the future, but I think your goal of getting okay with how things are is probably the best thing you can do about it for yourself right now. Pretending it's not how things are won't help anything. Not a a-hole. Neither is your mom, but she does need to give you space to feel how you feel about it. I can't imagine what could change in the future with how clear they've been with how they feel about me. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for calling my in-laws gold diggers for insisting to know how much my new job pays? I'm male 28, Canadian, and my fiancé female 26 and her family are from Latin America. My mother and father-in-law found out about my new job and wanted to have a private conversation with me without my fiancé, so they invited me to their house. They invited me into their guest room. My father-in-law asked me to leave my phone and keys at the dining table. They started talking about my new job. They had no idea how much I get paid and asked me to tell them about my salary, but I politely declined to tell them. They asked why. I just bluntly told them it was none of their business. Father-in-law chimed in, saying, "You're marrying my daughter. Damn right it's my business," and kept on about making his daughter's future secured. I assured him that his daughter is in good hands, and besides, money isn't everything, and love and respect are what's important. Mother-in-law disagreed and said that money is an important factor, then gave examples of issues I'll have in my marriage if I'm not capable of providing for my family. I refused to tell them again, assured them that I'm doing well financially, so no worries. Mother-in-law refused to drop it. Claimed I was being disrespectful by treating them like they were some strangers asking about how much I get paid, and demanded I give her a number. I got so annoyed and wanted to excuse myself to the bathroom, but father-in-law got up and locked the door. I asked what the hell he was doing. He told me to calm down and that he'll unlock the door when this conversation is over. I blew up and told them that their behavior is unacceptable, and what I earn is none of their goddamn business. Then told them that only gold diggers behave like this, and right then, they were giving me huge red flags. Mother-in-law gasped loudly, and father-in-law immediately unlocked the door and asked me to leave his house. I grabbed my phone and my keys and walked out. Mother-in-law already called my fiancé and was crying, saying I disrespected them in their house and called them gold diggers for just asking how I was doing with my new job. My fiancé was upset, but I explained what her mom and dad did. She said I not only hurt her parents, but hurt her as well by calling them gold diggers, and I owe them an apology, but I refused to. I asked if she thought what her parents did was okay, but she reminded me that she's with me because she loves me whether I'm rich or poor, and it doesn't matter what others think. My fiancé never cared about money nor acted materialistic. She works as a babysitter and happy with it. She said that I needed to apologize for calling them gold diggers and hurting their feelings for being worried about us. Although I assured them I'm doing well financially, and that should have been the end of it. But I guess I escalated. They escalated, and now I'm refusing to apologize. My relationship with them might suffer if I don't. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, but deeply consider getting a prenup and reevaluating your relationship. Your in-laws are gold diggers, and your fiancé's reaction to it is deeply disturbing. She has her parents' back before yours. Just because your fiancé may not be exhibiting materialistic behaviors now, doesn't mean she won't ever, given what you just witnessed with her parents. The apple clearly doesn't fall far from the tree. Not the a-hole. Legally, by locking the door and refusing to let you leave, it could be considered kidnapping. 100% on the prenup. Not the a-hole. Locking you in was so past the line of, okay, I would reconsider marrying into this crazy family. They locked you in a room with them without your phone or keys. Definitely not the a-hole. If you're going to try to make it work with her, set boundaries now. Do not apologize for acting like anyone would in that situation. They weren't just rude, they were threatening. And the thing is, I'm sure your girlfriend knows how they are.
Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom she's dead to me after expecting me to pay $2,000 for a cruise I'm not going on? Original post. A 17 male and my mom, 40 female, have had a rocky relationship for the past 4 months because of her relationship with my dad. My dad has never liked me or bonded with me due to him thinking I am an affair baby, even though I'm not. My dad has belittled and controlled me my entire life. And while my mom doesn't agree with it, she doesn't do anything to prevent it. To give you an idea, my family purposefully had their Christmas celebration while I wasn't home. I'm guessing so it wasn't obvious that they didn't get me anything. Meanwhile, they had gotten my brother, 15 male, and sister, 7 female, hundreds of dollars worth of gifts. Honestly, I'm used to this sort of treatment, but when I told some friends, they said it wasn't right. Since I started dating my 18 female girlfriend 5 months ago, my dad has upped the antics, telling me my girlfriend will cheat on me soon, preventing me from seeing her, basically trying to use her as another thing he can control me with. After a bad fight a week ago, my dad personally threatened my girlfriend, and then he took my phone, car, and kicked me out of the house. During the fight, he threatened to call the police on me, threatened to fight me, and was chasing me around the house. I ran down the road, and my mom and sister got in a car, and we spent the night at a hotel. The next day, though, my mom went back, because I guess she didn't have anywhere else to stay. Since then, I have been staying with my girlfriend and her family, who have been extremely kind and supportive. My mom told me she was going to leave my dad and buy a house within the next couple of weeks. This has been a common conversation for years, her saying she'll leave my dad and never does, so I don't know how much weight it holds. Now to recently. Yesterday, my mom told me she booked our family a week-long cruise. All of us together, including my dad. After some back and forth with my mom, of me saying I didn't want to spend a week with my dad, let alone on a cruise ship, she told me if I didn't go, I owed her $2,000. The cost of my ticket. I told my mom I never wanted to speak to her again, and that even if she buys a house, I won't be moving back in with her. I don't even know where they are planning on going or when it is. But on the other hand, maybe it could be fun? I have a bad relationship with my dad and brother, and from the looks of it, me and my mom are heading down that path. But I do have a great relationship with my little sister. I know I'm young, so maybe I'm just not seeing the bigger picture. Am I the jerk for not wanting to pay $2,000 for a cruise I didn't even want to go on in the first place? Edit. I have a job and can afford the $2,000, but it would be almost all of my savings for those wondering. I see a lot of people telling me to do a DNA test and are confused why there hasn't been one done already. I am sure I am his kid. I hate to say it, but I look exactly like him. I don't know if a DNA test or paternity test was done already when I was younger. Even if I were to get one done and throw the results in his face, I doubt it would change anything. He would probably deny it. I really think the only reason he has accused it is to further isolate me from my family. I also don't have the means to buy one right now. I am trying to save everything I can to buy my own car. In the future, when I am more stable, I may try and do one just for peace of mind. I know this may not make sense to most of you, but my dad is extremely stubborn. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Setting boundaries with your mom and dad. Not the a-hole. He's crazy and she's dysfunctionally enabling him. You do not owe her $2,000. She didn't ask you beforehand, and being trapped on a ship with your parents doesn't sound like a good time. Be careful about your relationship with your siblings, though. You need to make it clear that you still care for and want a relationship with them, but you just can't live at home anymore because of the way your parents treat you, but not them. That distinction is important because you don't want to put them in the middle of this fight. Your parents will try to turn your siblings against you and claim you abandoned them. Be honest and genuine with your siblings about what's going on, but don't put your siblings in the middle of the fight, especially your little sister. Just let her know it's something between just you and your parents, and she has nothing to do with it. Do not encourage your siblings to take a side. I'm sorry you have to deal with all this. Good luck. OP used the time they are gone to go through the house and get your birth certificate, social security card, and any other important documents. Look up state or local law. Many places won't let them kick you out at 18 if you are enrolled in high school. Be prepared to report them to the school and sue. Start looking for places to stay. Keep every communication with them via text whenever possible. Start a new email and email all information to yourself. You may need it later. Can't hurt to have it. Change passwords on all your stuff. Look into getting a phone through a cheap plan like Visible and pick up a $100 phone through them or a similar service. Use the time they are gone wisely. Find a car if you can afford it. Look into renting a room with several other students. Get ready to get out. Sell things you have that are valuable and you no longer need. Get small items out and stored elsewhere. A bank box is a good spot. A close friend's house might work. Now for the update. A lot has happened. First off, I know this sounds horrible, but I really need help trying to navigate my situation with my mom. The people around me are trying their best, but I'm still at a loss, and the Reddit community has been extremely helpful so far. So, after reading all of the comments, I decided not to go on the cruise and not to pay my mom any money. I'm currently trying to move all my money into an account my girlfriend is opening up for me. Earlier yesterday morning, I had asked my mom if I could have the day off from school since my girlfriend was going on a trip and I wouldn't see her for a few days. She agreed, nothing out of the ordinary, and said she would let my dad know. To clarify, this is my second absence total. After about an hour of being out of school, my dad texted me a threatening message. When I talked to my mom about it, she told me she never gave me permission to skip school. I do have the text messages to prove she did. Around 30 minutes later, the cops showed up at my girlfriend's house because my dad had reported me for truancy. Obviously, this is not true. I talked to the cops while my girlfriend stayed inside, since I didn't want to get her involved. It was nerve-wracking as hell. He pretty much said I was fine and that I had done nothing wrong. Just make sure I'm not missing too many days in a row. I guess word got back to my dad that the cops did nothing, and that really pissed him off. So he reported me for stealing his car. I found this out from my mom and immediately called the police station, letting them know I was returning it and had no intention of stealing it since my dad had previously given me permission to use it. The cop I spoke with just told me to return it and take video and picture evidence of it there. I'm angry, and I'm totally done with my parents. They have threatened to call the cops on me numerous times before, but actually calling them? Yeah, no. Oh, and get this. My mom is still trying to convince me to go on this cruise. Apparently, it's now just a 3-day one. Obviously, I'm not going. My issue right now is my mom is threatening to call the police on me to bring me back home. I've been staying with my girlfriend and her family, and I feel incredibly loved and supported. I don't want to leave them. I've been extremely stressed and anxious about the thought of having to go back home. My dad doesn't even want me there, but my mom is threatening to report me as a runaway in order to bring me home. I am still 17, and legally, I'm not allowed to move out against my parents' wishes. I contacted a lawyer yesterday night to discuss possibly being emancipated. The lawyer messaged back today saying that he thinks I have a case and is willing to work with me. My mom told me by the end of this week, she will have a new place for us to move into. I feel like it's a blatant lie since she's going on a cruise at that time. Since I don't have a car anymore, my girlfriend and my girlfriend's mom have offered to take me to school and work. I would also like to mention that since I've been living with my girlfriend, my family hasn't supported me in any way. Another issue I'm having is I have not responded to any messages my mom has sent. I forgot to include that after they reported the car, they also shut off my phone. I ordered a new one that should be coming in a few days, thankfully. My girlfriend is on her trip right now, and my mom has been spamming her phone with messages trying to reach me. Same with my girlfriend's mom. I have no intention of talking to her. She has blamed every problem on my dad and has refused to hold herself accountable for anything. I am tired, confused, and don't know what the next steps I should take are. The fact your parents called the police on you twice, and they have documented that your parents are trying to use the police to get their way, while you're calmly explaining that you're just trying to find some peace. Even if they do call about you being a runaway, the cops will see you're safe, see your contact with an emancipation lawyer, and see how they've previously been called for BS. And they're very likely not going to put you back into harm's way. I'm not a lawyer, but it makes sense. This is what I'm hoping for. I'm calling the police station today, though, to try and get more clarification on whether or not they will take me back home if my parents do end up calling. Not the a-hole. You're handling this with a lot of strength and clarity, but have you considered reaching out to a local community center for additional support while you work through emancipation? It's surprising how quickly things escalated with the police involvement, but it seems like you're already taking the right steps to protect yourself. Everything happened so fast, I'm still trying to process it. My girlfriend's parents didn't feel comfortable having me there after the cops were called, without me taking legal action to be emancipated. I'll be looking into the local community center. Thanks. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not skipping my stepson's graduation, even though his mom is threatening to make a scene? I, 30 female, have been married to my husband, 41 male, for 5 years now. His son, 17, is graduating high school next month. I met him when he was 11. I've never tried to be his mom, and we took things slow. Over the years, we've built a decent relationship. I help out where I can, mostly behind the scenes, like rides, school stuff, and dinner when he's over. He's casually called me his bonus mom a couple of times, which I took as a good sign. However, his mom, Jan, has never liked me. She's never been openly hostile, but always cold and dismissive. I've never pushed her though. No drama, no trying to parent her kid. Just try to be supportive when he's with us. Anyway, he told us he wants me at his graduation. He said it directly and saved me a ticket. A week later, my husband gets a call from the school. And apparently, John emailed them and said only she and my husband would be attending and that I shouldn't be allowed because of family issues. We had no idea she did this. My husband called the school to clear it up, and when we asked her about it, she basically said I was overstepping and that graduation is for his real family. She told someone in the family that if I show up, she might leave, or worse, not let her son attend. Her son still wants me there. He even told his dad, don't let her ruin it. My husband fully supports me going, but now a couple of his relatives are telling me I should just stay home to avoid drama. Guess who called them about it? I get it's a sensitive day, but I'm not there to make a statement. I just want to show up, support him, and leave quietly like everyone else. Am I the a-hole for insisting on going? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Your stepson wants you there. Go. Your husband should tell his busybody relatives to mind their own business. I'll bet your stepson's mom will be on here in a couple of years, complaining that her son never visits her, but always visits his dad if she doesn't learn how to adult. He seems happier when he spends time in our house. She is running out of days to mess with you. That 18 clock is ticking closer and she knows it. Go and support your stepson like he wants. She won't matter in a few months. Not the a-hole. He will cut her off as soon as he can. This generation of kids constantly talks about toxic parents. I cannot tell you how often one of the more toxic ones have called me saying, my kid is at your house because I'm toxic. I just Venmo'd you money for feeding my kid. My kids tell me all the time how many of their friends wish their moms and dads would back off. I'm not perfect, but my good friend with kids 10 years older than mine told me when my oldest was 10 to stop with the helicopter parenting and to be totally backed off by 18. It was hard to do, but watching them step into being adults and handling their lives has been great. I give advice now when asked, and only after saying, do you want it high, mid, or low? We live long lives. I don't want my kids hating me over dumb stuff. Last story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my husband out over the comment he made about my kids at dinner? I, 36 female, have 2 kids, Mia, 14, and Liam, 16, from a previous marriage. They have done ice dancing together ever since they were little. Yes, before anyone asks, it's normal in a sport. They're a strong match, similar in size, and work very well as a team. The routines are expressive and dynamic, but age-appropriate, nothing suggestive. My husband, Mark, 38 male, and I have been together for almost 7 years. He's been in their lives since they were young, and they've always called him their stepdad. He used to be supportive, showing up to competitions, helping with rides, the usual. But over the last couple of years, his attitude started to shift for some reason. He started making weird comments about how close they are when they perform, stuff like how they're always wrapped around each other, or it's a little strange how intimate the choreography can look, sometimes within earshot of the kids. I shut that down hard every time. We've had full-blown arguments about it, and after the last time, he swore he'd stop bringing it up. Fast forward to a few nights ago, we had a couple of friends over for dinner. The kids were home and eating with us. One of our friends asked how skating was going, and the kids were talking about even though it's off-season, they're still training hard and keeping up with their practice. And then again, Mark went there by saying, yeah, they train hard, but it's still weird how into it they are. Like they're siblings, and they're all over each other. It's a bit much. Mia looked like she wanted to disappear. Liam just went quiet and stared him down, clearly angry. The whole table just went awkwardly silent, aside from an uncomfortable laugh from our friends, until someone changed the subject. I just felt done, but I didn't make a scene right there and then. As soon as everyone left and we were alone, I confronted him. Told him I couldn't believe he would say something like that, especially in front of our friends and kids, after he promised he'd stop doing it. He'd tried to act like it was just one little comment, his opinion, and said I was being too sensitive again. I told him no, this isn't just a small thing, and I don't want him around me or the kids if he's going to act like this, and not even apologize for it. I told him to pack some bags and go. He's staying at his mom's house, and she called me, going off about me being dramatic, how Mark was just trying to express his concern, and that maybe deep down, I know it looks weird. I hung up on her. Meanwhile, my ex-husband heard about it from Mia and Liam and contacted me right away. He told me I did the right thing, and he has my back 100%. No hesitation. Mark has been texting and calling me, saying I blew things out of proportion and that I'm hurting the family over a throwaway comment. Now that I've time to cool down, I'm wondering if I took things too far and could have done things differently. So, am I the a-hole for kicking him out? Not the a-hole, especially if your ex has your back about this. You were completely in the right. Sorry, but your husband sounds like a douche canoe. I used to figure skate competitively when I was younger. Sibling partners in pairs in ice dance is very common. Besides already having a foundation of trust with your partner that would take years to build with a stranger, they are normally close in size, athleticism, and ability. Not to mention the fact that it resolves scheduling conflicts. Figure skating with another person as a team requires physical closeness. They cannot do the holds or throws properly or safely if they are not close. It isn't sexual, it's for safety, as well as good technique, which is part of their technical score. It's funny that you mentioned that. I'm not into figure skating at all, but I've noticed there are a lot of siblings that skate together. I just figured a big part of it was their familiarity with each other, and the fact that they've got a ready-made partner right there at home. It's like siblings engaging in pretty much any sport or physical activity together. OP's husband is an uptight perv. Someone should check his computer.